Tamworth is located on the Peel River, which is joined by three other river systems, the Coburn River, Gunu Creek and Timbumburi Creek. The floodplain narrows dramatically at the Tamworth CBD. During floods, this raises the water levels and increases the velocity of the water. In short, the city is at a higher risk of severe flooding. Since 1925, Tamworth has recorded approximately 40 floods. In 1955, Tamworth experienced the highest recorded floods in the city's history. With no effective flood protection system, homes and businesses were swamped. It was clear something had to be done. The Tamworth Council took action to protect the city against floods, and therefore in 1960, a levee bank was constructed around the Tamworth CBD, 1 metre above the level of the 1955 flood. This levee would be upgraded again in 1996. However, the CBD levee was only the start of Tamworth's fortification against the floodwaters. In January 1984, a huge flood led to the inundation of 114 buildings in the Taminda area, 82 of which had water above floor level. At a public meeting following the flood, the council was urged to erect a levee around Taminda. The council knew the flood protection system needed improvement and commissioned the first of several studies that will be undertaken in the next 18 years. Following the completion of the floodplain study in 1993, the council adopted a floodplain management plan. This included upgrading the CBD levee and building 2 new levees, the Western levee running from Matthews to Thinbold Street and the Taminda levee to protect the residential and industrial areas of Tamworth, as well as voluntary purchasing of flood-affected properties outside the new and improved levees as they became available. Tamworth was now ready to begin a large-scale operation to protect the city from future floods. CBD levee upgrade, 1996 to 1998. Beginning in 1996, the CBD levee was the first to receive attention. The upgraded CBD levee is now 2.4 kilometres long and was designed not only to raise the height, but also strengthen the existing levee to protect the businesses in and around Peel Street. Rock gabions were utilised to reinforce the riverbank, and concrete double wall blocks were used to raise the height of the levee in the confined spaces at the Cable Avenue and Darling Street intersection. Removable aluminium barriers were incorporated at the Bridge Street crossing and at the Fitzroy Street pedestrian bridge. This upgrade not only provided a protective measure against flooding, but also created an attractive and usable landscape. Elements such as the bike track and footpath at Bicentennial Park and along the river, as well as the shrubs and ground cover planted along the top of the levee, provide a comfortable and attractive environment, as well as a strong protective levee. In 1998, the upgrade of the CBD levee was completed at a cost of $2.8 million, with funding coming from the Tamworth Council as well as the state and federal governments. The council then turned its attention to the Western levee 2001. Some may ask why the council built the Western levee when the landscape across Gunu Road already protects the majority of the residential area. The council wanted to let the residents keep their land and protect their lifestyle, and it would have cost more for the council to buy the affected properties and render them unusable than to simply protect them and their residents by building the levee at a total cost of $1.7 million. The Western levee was constructed in 2001. It runs 1.3 kilometres and is approximately 4 metres high. The levee was built solely as an earth embankment and incorporates a storm water detention basin with the capacity to store the water from a 1 in 100 year rain event. This basin also contains pump-out facilities as an extra protective measure in case there's a blockage which prevents the floodgates from being closed or the basin capacity is exceeded. Protecting Tamworth's industrial area was the council's next target. Taminda levee, 2005 to 2010. Construction began on the most expensive of the three, the Taminda levee, in March 2005. Protecting the main industrial area of Tamworth, the levee runs 2.7 kilometres with a maximum height of 2.5 metres. The construction of the Taminda levee provided the council with several challenges, which included the enormous task of relocating Ebsworth Street in between Barn Street and the Tamworth Racecourse to the top of the levee bank. Another challenge was at the intersection of Barnes and Ebsworth Streets, where the proximity of the railway track meant that the level of Barn Street could not be raised. The council decided to employ a system of removable flood barriers. The flood barriers run 156 metres and are connected to the railway embankment at one end and to the double wall units at the other. When it was completed in 2010, the final cost of the Taminda levee was $10.3 million. But this cost is little compared to what may be lost if flooding were to damage this area with its industrial and residential importance to Tamworth. The council recognised that it would not be feasible to build flood barriers to protect all flood-prone properties. In some cases, the council advised residents that they would buy their properties if and when they were willing to sell. To date, 14 parcels of land have been bought under the voluntary purchase arrangement. All up, the total cost of the flood mitigation and protection works has been $15.9 million, about a third of which was funded by the Tamworth Council. While the cost of building and upgrading the three levees may seem high, the benefits from this project far outweigh the monetary cost. In fact, a benefit to cost analysis of the upgraded CBD levee found that the expected benefits over time would be 4 times the cost of construction and maintenance. Most importantly, the levees provide protection for Tamworth's residents, with both tangible and intangible benefits to life and community health. The levees also help reduce the disruption to trade and services that flooding can cause and help secure investment and income by protecting Tamworth's events and attractions. With Tamworth now well protected against floods, Tamworth Regional Council now look further afield to the protection of surrounding communities, so they too can enjoy the benefits of complete flood protection.